It starts right in the action in Montenegro back in 2008. There's this veteran CIA agent, this guy Peter Devereaux, and his rookie partner, David Mason. They're on a mission to protect some ambassador. The whole thing is super tense, and they've only got like 20 minutes to get it done. So Mason gets into position in a building with a sniper rifle, ready to provide cover. He gets a bead on a target, some guy, and he's reporting it all back to Devereaux. Devereaux is on the ground, and he's yelling into the mic, like, "Do not take the shot. Stand down." But Mason, the new guy, totally ignores him and pulls the trigger anyway. He gets the target, but get this, a little kid gets caught in the crossfire and dies. Total disaster. So yeah, these two have some serious history. So flash forward 5 years, Devereaux is retired, just chilling. But then his old CIA boss, this dude John Hanley, shows up and pulls him back in for one last job. He tells him this other agent, Natalia, who, surprise, Devereaux has a past with, is in deep cover in Moscow. She's gotten close to this super bad guy, Fedorov, who's a war criminal, and she has some dirt on him, a secret name that could bring everything crashing down. But now she's in danger and needs to be pulled out. And the whole thing has to be a secret, even from the CIA. So we cut to Moscow, and Fedorov is giving this big speech. While he's gone, Natalia breaks into his safe. She finds this box with a gun, cash, and a bunch of photos that are proof of his war crimes. She quickly snaps pics of them with her phone, but then she hears someone coming and has to shove everything back in. Fedorov figures out what she did and sends his goons, the FSB, after her. It turns into this huge car chase through Moscow. They corner her, but then bam, Devereaux shows up out of nowhere, action hero style. He's yelling at her to get in his car while bullets are flying everywhere, and they just barely escape. And here's the kicker. The CIA is watching this whole thing on a drone, but they have no idea who just saved Natalia. Then in the car, Natalia asks Peter, "How's our daughter, Lucy?" And boom, we find out they have a kid together. This whole mission just got super personal.
Natalia adds, "I miss both of you." Then Devereaux asks the name from some still in the car. Natalia whispers a name to him, Mira Filipova, and then she dies right there in his arms. Devereaux is completely devastated. He takes her phone, pulls out the memory card, and throws the phone out the window. He immediately calls Hanley and tells him the name, but Hanley's like, "It's too late. The station chief has already sent an agent to kill her." And who's the agent? Surprise! It's Mason, his old rookie partner. And yep, Mason is the one who took the shot and killed Natalia. Back in Serbia, Hanley types Mira Filipova into his computer and gets access to this whole secret file. He sees pictures of this Mira girl and some soldiers, but then, bam! Assassins burst into his room and start shooting. Hanley manages to shoot his own computer to destroy the data before he gets knocked out. Meanwhile, the CIA bosses are grilling Mason. They're like, "Why didn't you shoot Devereaux when you had the chance?" Because yeah, they came face to face right after Natalia was shot, and neither one of them pulled the trigger. Mason tries to play it cool, like he wasn't a threat, but his boss isn't buying it. He's like, "This guy will hunt us all down. You have to finish the job. Kill Devereaux." And Mason, looking all serious, just says, "I'll do what I'm told." So now Mason is officially hunting Devereaux. Devereaux goes to Hanley's trash department in Belgrade looking for clues. He figures out that the only way to find this Mira Filipova is through some woman named Alexa Fournier. Cut to this other plotline. Fedorov's personal assassin is also looking for Mira. She finds out that Mira is hiding in Belgrade under a new identity, a social worker named, you guessed it, Alexa Fournier. So Alexa is having lunch with a journalist spilling the beans about Fedorov's war crimes, and Devereaux shows up at the same hotel. Then Fedorov's assassin shows up too. Disguised as a waitress, she tries to get close to Alexa, but Devereaux calls Alexa's phone. He's like, "The woman next to you is a killer. Do exactly what I say, or you're dead." And then all hell breaks loose. Devereaux gets Alexa out of there just as Mason arrives, guns blazing. Devereaux and Mason have this intense phone call where Mason's all like, "We need to talk." And Devereaux is just like, "Nope, my game, my rules." He causes a distraction with a car alarm and manages to escape with Alexa. In a safe house, Devereaux is grilling Alexa about Mira. Alexa claims she doesn't know where she is. Devereaux points to a picture of some guy on her wall and says, "Who's this?" She's like, "Some corrupt official." And Devereaux says, "He's Fedorov's right-hand man." So Devereaux takes Alexa and they go meet this guy. Devereaux basically tells him, "Fedorov is killing everyone who knows his secrets. You're next. Talk." And the guy spills everything. He says Fedorov himself bombed an army building and blamed it on Chechen terrorists just to start a war over oil. He has all the proof. But of course, Mason and his CIA boss were listening in on Devereaux's phone call the whole time.
So
The boss is like, see?
You
He
think
played you
Devereaux is your
again."
friend? Check this out. He shows Mason this secret file Devereaux wrote about him years ago, and it's totally trashing him. It says stuff like lacks discipline and that he's unfit for duty. So now Mason is completely pissed and feels betrayed. He's all in on hunting Devereaux. Devereaux lays it all out for Alexa. He's like, the CIA is trying to start a war, and Mira is the only one who can stop it. Thousands of people are going to die. He basically tells her to disappear, go somewhere no one can find her, not even him. So Alexa goes to that journalist guy for help. But then, bam! Fedorov's assassin shows up and kills the journalist. Alexa just runs for her life. Meanwhile, Devereaux finds Hanley tied up, and Hanley drops this huge bombshell. He's like, you've been played. Alexa is Mira Filipova. She stole the real Alexa's identity. Surprise! And get this, Mason figures out that Devereaux has a daughter, Lucy, and the boss tells him that Natalia was her mom. This whole thing is getting more and more personal. So now Mira, aka Alexa, goes completely rogue. She calls Devereaux and is like, I'm going to confront Fedorov myself. Devereaux's like, are you insane? That's suicide. And then she spills the beans. Fedorov killed her whole family when she was a kid, and this whole thing has been about revenge for her. So Devereaux crashes the party, killing Fedorov's guys. He doesn't kill Fedorov, though. He wants him to confess on camera. He puts a gun to his head and is like, tell me who the American agent was who helped you start the war. While Mira is recording everything, Fedorov finally cracks and says the name, John Hanley. It was Devereaux's own boss all along. Just then, Mason and his team show up, and it's a huge shootout. Devereaux gets away, but not before he injures Mason and gives him the phone with the confession video on it. Now Mason knows the truth. But then, the final twist. Devereaux calls his daughter Lucy, and who picks up? Hanley! He kidnapped his own agent's daughter. He tells Devereaux, you want your kid back? Bring me Mira. So they set up this big exchange. Hanley shows up and gives this whole speech about how Devereaux is the November man because after he comes through, winter starts and everything dies. So dramatic. But get this, Mason has already figured out where Lucy is and goes to rescue her himself. Meanwhile, Fedorov's assassin tries to get Mira at a train station, but Mira fights back and takes her out. Then, Mason comes back to the exchange and just starts blasting Hanley's guys. Devereaux uses the chaos to get the upper hand. Now, it's Devereaux and Mason, finally on the same side, with their guns pointed at Hanley. Devereaux gets his daughter back, safe and sound. So, Mira goes public. She tells the whole world on the news about Fedorov and Hanley and the whole conspiracy. The bad guys are exposed. And then, we get one last scene. Fedorov is chilling on his yacht, thinking he got away with it, but then, bam! A sniper takes him out from a distance. He just falls into the water. And that's how it ends. Awesome, right?